next day, I take the bus into the city. It goes twice an hour starting in the morning, passing by the front gate of Yamako at 20 minutes past and 10 to the hour. The ride takes considerably longer than the one Maya gave us in his car. I slowly read a book as the bus makes its rounds through the suburbs, pausing at almost every stop to pick up someone or let them out. Eventually, we make it to the last stop at the city center. The city is fair-sized, but not too large, and seems to keep quiet. And seems to quiet. Nevertheless, I enjoy the atmosphere. Despite being slightly directionally challenged, I find my way from the bus station to the gallery without too much effort, and soon I find myself staring at the big letters saying 22nd corner. Inside the gallery owner is intently studying a large painting hanging on the wall and a portrait of an old man. Good afternoon. She turns around to look at me and smile of recognition spreads on her lips. Oh, aren't you the young man from the other day? Shinchi student? Asao, was it? That's right. Good afternoon, Miss Angie. Please, just sigh. I don't want to feel any older than I am. You know, I'm so glad that even younger people show interest in art nowadays. It's so refreshing. What brings you here? Surely you aren't just on a courtesy visit all the way from the school. Uh, Actually, I came for Rin. I was hoping to see how she was doing. Oh, is that right? Well, then you need to step back outside. You see, the Adelier is actually at the next door on the right down the street, up the stairwell. Just climb the stairs to the top floor. There's only one door there. You can't miss it. I give Sai my thanks and exit the gallery and locate the door she was talking about. It leads to the dark stairwell, which reminds me of the stairs leading to the roof of the school building. Yeah, I also think that. The stairs are steep, and even though it's only 5 floors, my breathing gets heavy before I reach the top. An assuming wooden door waits for me there. It's unlocked, so I knock and enter. The atelier is really just one big room with the ceiling lower at one end, the other beak at one end than the other because the roof of the building is gabled. There's a huge skylight in the ceiling that acts as the main source of light for the room, bringing in sunlight that reflects off the white painting walls. I suppose it's good to use natural light for art. There isn't much in the way of interior decoration, no surprise since the room seems to have been used as storage for a while. All kinds of boxes and office furniture are scattered around the place. The room is dusty since it's not been in use for a while. I can see that someone has made some effort to clean up a little, but it's far from immaculate. Rin stands in the middle of the room with her back to me, staring at a half-painted canvas placed on an easel. Not working on it, just staring, unmoving. She wears what must be second or third hand denim overalls over the standard school uniform shirt, much like the one I'm wearing. They're, they look pretty worn and are covered in paint spatters. From the way they seem to be loose or tight in places, I'm guessing that they weren't originally Rin's. Hi. Hello. Rin doesn't judge my showing up as worthy of turning around, saying maybe something more than just a mechanical reply to my greeting, smiling anything. She keeps on doing whatever it is she's doing. Probably some weird creative thing inside her head. Perhaps I should have expected as much. Still, I make another attempt at conversation. This is a pretty cool place. Big too. It is. Sai said I could use this as much as I like. I even have my own key. So how's the work going? She doesn't answer for a while. I begin to wonder if she's already forgotten the question. The cloud drifts over the building, shadowing the light pouring in from the skylight. The change in wind surroundings seemed to wake her up. I don't know. It's like a huge ball. I don't really know which side is the right one. It's really huge. It's the hugest thing ever, like a mountain growing inside me, like I swallowed a mountain whole. It's gonna be hard, I think. Really, really very hard. I try to listen for undercuts of stress and uncertainty in her voice, but I don't pick up anything like that. Why are you here? Her tone is not as unkind as the directness of the question would make it seem. Well, you said that it'd be nice if I came to visit, so here I am. It's not for any real reason, but I thought you might like company, or assistance, or maybe some help. Can you be quiet for about 15 minutes? Maybe 10 is enough. 5 definitely is not. You can talk afterwards. Her tone is sharp, nothing like I've ever heard from before. There's no command, no annoyance, no anger, but her voice pierces me all the same. Alright. With the silence that follows, anxiety creeps back into my heart. I wonder if it was a mistake to come here. Murmurs of traffic filter in from outside, and I start to feel more and more uncomfortable. All my thoughts keep finding themselves returning to certain things that have been swirling relentlessly in the back of my mind for some time now. I feel like that the thoughts will surface out of the tempestuous sea of my mind, whether I want it or not. Desperate to divert my focus, I fixate on Rin's back as my mind races. I don't think I've ever studied anyone's back so intently before. Her neck is hidden by copper-colored hair, which is again in complete disarray. The relaxed yet rigid posture reminds me that Rin's physical appearance often tends to be awkward as her various trains of thoughts. Those gaunt, delicate shoulder blades visible through the thin white fabric of her shirt. The contours of her hip curving down to her thin thighs. It pisses me off. What? What? Rarely does she ever seem to be looking at me, whether literally or figuratively. On the other hand, I'm always watching her back, both literally and figuratively. Whenever she's painting, whenever something catches her fluttery attention, whenever I don't focus, or forcefully make her listen to me, I can't reach through to her. Rin's heart is uncharted territory, dangerous waters, the blank area on the map, the edge of the world. If I went too close, I wonder if I would fall off. What do I think of her? Sometimes she's aloof and distant and annoys me, and other times her passion for the things she thinks worthwhile shines through and inspires me. I can't understand her. Still, I like her and consider her my friend. I suppose part of my friendship is putting up with the oddities of the people you call friends. I have to admit, there's a lot of putting up with Rin. What does she think of me? I have no idea. Last week, I thought she might have liked me romantically, what with a kiss and all. It forced me to ponder my own feelings too. This week, I am utterly confused. What would she do if I told her I liked her that way? I wonder if I really do. Damn, I can't make sense of even my own thoughts anymore. Must be contagious. Even I said that, Even if I said a thing like that, would it matter? Nothing affects Rin. Nothing. I'm done. I find her turned around, now staring straight at me. It unnerves me. I try to remember what we, or rather I, were talking about before she requested time out. Alright, I just came to... I don't know. You still can't finish your sentences. It's not that. Fine. She retreats from the conversation, slipping away from me once again. She doesn't return to painting, but instead keeps looking at me with the empty poker face of hers. I wanted to talk about some stuff. I've thought a lot about things. What things? Like what happened last week and so on. What happened? I get the feeling she's playing with me. Why? I have no clue. It's not a game she's playing with my head. I'm pretty sure she doesn't deliberately try to screw with people. Maybe it's just my own mind playing tricks on itself. Rin feels like a puzzle in the form of a girl. I feel attracted to it, compelled to solve it, the overly rational part of my brain refusing to let me give up. I can't leave her alone. I never would have believed I could, but this is obsessive about something. I could be obsessive about this something. Why do I hesitate so much and keep running in circles around her? I don't have to do that. I already decided what I want to say. Rin. Saying her name with an intention like that makes my mouth dry as if my subconscious is fighting against what I'm going to say next. I feel like I'm going to lock up any moment now. Rin looks up from her paint-covered toes and stops wriggling them, and there isn't anyone to observe them curiously now. The hard stare out of her dark green eyes seemed like important. I like you. The lack of any reaction was like a slap to the face. So, I mean, I like to like you as more than a friend. What is more? The slowly hesitant words coming from between her strawberry-colored lips are not the ones I was waiting for. Neither of two possible answers that I'd been expecting, actually. I feel myself blushing heavily as is part of the course in the kind of situation. My heartbeat sounds like a percussion orchestra on drugs. And Fox Innocent's inquiry, it feels like I'm being grilled with hot coals. You know, like romantically, and no. Rin turns around, giving me the cold shoulder, and returns to looking at her painting. Uh-oh. She makes a move to pick up her brush, which lies forgotten on the floor, but decides against it at the last moment. I can't talk about that kind of thing now. So, don't talk about that kind of thing, please. You're friends, right? So you can do that. The silence, those words behind is deafening. I want to say something, but my mouth refuses to move. There's no way I can contain it. You know she's busy, Sal. I just can't handle this. Sal is just being really, uh... The rain finally picks up the brush without giving any explanation for her behavior. Maybe there's something in her voice that gave away some emotion, but I couldn't say what. Her shoulders slump melancholically as her foot works the canvas in front of her. She won't let me see her face, and I know it. Feeling the weight of my heart grow heavier, I stand up to leave, for I can't stay here any longer today. So I open Pandora's box by stopping over some lines that Ren didn't want me to cross, and she had to turn me down. I walk across the squeaky floor to the door leading to the stairwell. Ren's quiet voice stops me in the tracks, and I'm about to open the door. Sal. My hand still on the brass doorknob, waiting for me to turn it to withdraw. Yeah? Will you come tomorrow? Yeah. Right, so Sal decided to come uninvited, sees that Rin is concentrating on something and decided to interrupt her and then drop that bomb while she's in the middle of working. So I don't know. I don't know why he's acting like this. After a night of bad sleep, I go through the day mostly automatic. I put on my uniform mechanically, do my whole schoolwork mechanically, eat my lunch mechanically, reply to the teacher mechanically, and thus, when the final bell rings, I still feel as if I just woken up. My mind feels blank and overcrowded at the same time, and I can't even begin to unravel the tangled feelings I've gotten myself into. I spend the bus trip downtown staring out the window thinking about these things. As a result, by the time I climb the stairs to the Adelaire, 4 floors above Size Gallery, I'm feeling completely exhausted. Expecting the awkwardness, I quietly knock on the door before entering. I spot Rin at the center of a small clear area in the room working on the painting. She doesn't acknowledge my arrival in any way. Hi, I came as promised. Rin snaps at her head to my direction immediately. Was she waiting for me to say something? And locks the and locks the cold green gaze of hers on me. Although, although I'm sure my own face can hide my feelings, Red's expression is expectant and neutral as always. The cloudy, slightly absent-minded darkness in her eyes is like a wall standing between me and her. It is the first awkward silence between us that is truly awkward. Yesterday, both of us said something we couldn't take back, and there's no way it can be undone. I wanted to say something, but Rin forbade from doing so. I can't even begin to guess what she's thinking, but I'm feeling the pressure of her lightless eyes on me, compelling me to break the silence without saying the things I most want to say. To my horror, I find that I can't find any way to start a conversation. It's as if I've been completely lost the ability to speak with her. Um, just keeping, just keep working if you're in the middle of something. I'll just sit down here. Rin nods wordlessly at me and picks up the brush from the floor with the toes of her right foot. I sink in a worn-out sofa, picking up a book from my bag and opening it to where I stopped last night. I can't really concentrate on it, but it's better than doing nothing. The two of us are so close to each other, together in the same room, even, and yet, we're both off doing our own things as if we're miles apart. I can't help but wonder about this unnatural situation. Why did I come here? Because she asked me to do yesterday, of course. However, it looks like there's absolutely no need for me to actually be here. It makes me feel awkward at first, but as I recall the previous silences I've quietly passed with Rin, I settled down to try out to tune into the same comfortable mood I was back then. Time stretches and slows down. The pages of my book rustle each time I turn them. After maybe half an hour or 1 hour at most, Rin breaks the silence to my complete surprise. The Sal. Yeah? Are you my friend? It's an echo of yesterday. I know it. So, even Rin can just push it aside from her mind. Caught off guard. I answer honestly. I don't. Yeah, of course I am. Don't worry about stuff like that. Come on. Sal, why'd you have to say the first part? Why'd you have to say I don't? Okay. She doesn't even say anything further. I feel happy somehow. What? Several chapters later, I make my spot, close the book, and put it away in my bag. Getting up from the sofa, I see that Rin made considerable progress on her painting. I take a look at it for a bit. It's still not quite finished, I suppose. It looks great. It's bad luck to comment on unfinished paintings. After that, I quietly leave the studio and catch the bus taking me back to school. Do do do, do do do, do do do, do do do, do do do. Ugh, wow. Life settles into some sort of vague, undefined norm. I visit Rin whenever I can, but each time it's as strange as the first. It consists mainly of me watching Rin at work, or just reading a book on the couch while she works. We barely talk at all. Long, quiet evenings stretch over the last week of June. I sit on the couch in the Adelir, listening to the quiet rustle of Rin's voice as my own heartbeat, trying to make sense of the former and forget about the latter. I am silent. I'm a silent visitor in the place, and a ghost. At some point, I start thinking that my presence is meaningful to Rin somehow, but never end up asking her about it. I don't bring up the forbidden topic anymore, either. I tried to stop thinking about it, although altogether, it's hard to do so, and it's getting easier with the passage of time. My heart aches every time I look at the awkward figure of the girl I decided I like, yet who refuses to acknowledge it. I still can't seem to find the right words to talk to her about anything at all, but I find quite solace in observing her from nearby. The distance between us doesn't feel that huge, like when I can be close to her, even if it's like this. Rin works like a demon. This is barely a moment when she's without a brush between her toes, or walking in circles around her current work in progress, estimating it from every single distance. She seems to be completely taken over by her will to work, to change herself into the sort of artist she believes would be worthy enough to trust Namaya and Sai have placed in her. Piles of sketches work in progress. Tubes of oil, paint, and brushes slowly begin to crowd the small atelier. It makes it even messier than it was before Rin acquired the right to use it. I offer to help her clean up every now and then, but each time she refuses. It dawns on me that in her mind the room is not an utter chaos, rather a system of keeping track of everything is so elaborate only Rin herself can make sense of it. She knows exactly where everything is, from the tiniest brush to the half-empty tube of crimson that's the perfect shade for some picture in progress. Rin walks over from one painting to another looking at them, as if not remembering that she made them. She talks to herself or to the paintings, even when I'm present, always just quietly enough that I can't make out the words. Every day, Rin pours herself onto the canvas for hours on end, squeezing every bit of her ability and even her soul to make good on the promise she made to me or herself. Black marks appear beneath her eyes, a sure sign that she's skipping sleep in favor of painting. I'm somewhat surprised to see her at school a few times. I never go and say hello though. I sometimes feel it would break the silent magic of the evenings we share at the Adeline. Sometimes Sad comes by when I'm there. She gives a certain kind of look when she shows up. I think she doesn't like the way I'm hanging out with the Rin up here, but she never says a word about it. She isn't quite as full of praise for Rin's work as mine, but is visibly impressed nevertheless. However, when she turns her eyes from her wonderful work art to look upon the little redhead girl that made them, a sudden deep sadness floats onto the surface of her expression. I cannot explain it, and she never talks about it. June turns into July almost without warning, and the turn of exams loomed dangerously close, but all I can think of is Rin. I feel like a sleepwalker at school looking forward only to the next time I get to visit that silent place above Side's gallery. After Rin refuses my attempts at directly helping with her work, I try to figure out what other ways to help her. It finally dawns on me that she isn't eating properly. My course of action is decided. I stop at the convenience store before going to catch the bus downtown on my next visit to the studio. I feel very energetic as I open the door to Ally and greet Rin. I brought you some fruit. You need vitamins and actual food after all. Do you even eat up here? I do eat. If I didn't eat, I couldn't paint. Then why don't you eat a couple of these? I shake the bag full of ripe oranges in my hand and employ the time to Rin into taking a break. To my surprise, she actually lays her brush down and walks over to me to see what I'd brought. Her expression doesn't change at all when she looks into the bag. I can't eat oranges, Sal. It's not worked very well with feet. That's alright, I'll do it. Of course I knew that. She told me herself, after all. I extracted the tiny fruit knife I had with me and selected one of the round fruits. After making the initial cut, I began to peel with my fingers. The strong scent of orange ran immediately and fills the air, as the thousands of tiny droplets of oil burst from the skin. I removed this first section of the hard peel and shoot a glance at Rin. So how's the work going? I don't know. It's not like I'm in the center of some huge mountain of jelly. Or it's like I'm in some huge center of the huge mountain of jelly. I have to dig my way out. Must be stressful. I think it might be. Even though it's just painting at all this, everything feels really strange. I wonder if Rin is this kind of person who likes to carefully remove all the white fibrous stuff from oranges before eating them, or more carelessly type who just eats them as they come. Maybe neither. I'm the former type, so I meticulously clean the orange slices one by one while Rin watches the process with mild curiosity. I realize that I don't have the faintest idea about her likes or dislikes, or any of the other little details that make up the concept of a person for those around them. It's like in all this time, I haven't learned much about her at all. Once I finished lamenting the fact, I realized I've cleaned the entire orange and split it into slices, and neatly split it into slices. I hold the slice up, bringing it close to Rin so she can pick it up. Here. She takes it between her lips and then into her mouth hole, her whole lower lip briefly brushing against my fingertip. Rin chews the slice carefully, savoring it as much as possible. I become fixated on the movement of her jaw, the trickle of juice glistening on her lips, the way that her throat moves when she swallows the orange juice. Uh-huh. After I realize what I'm doing, I turn away, feeling embarrassed about watching her so intently. It's not the same as it usually is. The orange? Painting. Oh, well, is anything like that ever the same? It is, sometimes, I think. I don't know what though. I might be starting to paint differently soon if this goes on. Well, wouldn't that just wouldn't that just be that change you keep talking about? She thinks about it, blinking her eyes a few times nervously. For a moment, absolutely nothing happens, as if time itself did a double take. We stare at each other uh, in silence, only the faint, tangy scent of orange floating between us, and the muffled sounds of traffic in the background. Then I pick up another slice and hold it to her. She takes it from me with her mouth, just like the first one. I think it would be like that, be like this. Well, keep on going and see what happens. It's not like you can do anything else. Yeah, it's the only thing I can do. After that, she says nothing more. In the ensuing silence, I feed Rin the rest of the orange, one slice at a time. Then I peel another for her, which she eats as well. The third I eat myself, and the rest are left in a plastic bag, which I put in a small desk next to the couch. She stands up and returns to the painting, with the strange look in her eyes that I haven't seen before. Like most of her expressions, it's completely unreadable. Even if I asked what she would explain what it means. Do 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 do. I think I think I might just end it off here, just so I don't break the flow, because I don't think we'll get to another one of those in the next 3 minutes. I don't want to cut it off like I usually do. So I hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.